Hello. It is the first video after my channel rebrand, huh? So, today I wanted to talk about how to actually live your dream life. How you can get all the things you want, how you can live a life that you always wanted for yourself, be that version of you who you always wanted to be, being like loving yourself, trusting yourself, being confident in yourself, seeing what you want in your external world, stuff like that. Side note, look at this corset. Isn't it so cute? I thrifted it. I actually manifested it. That's a success story. I might do a video on just some of my many success stories. I have a lot. But anyways, as you may know, I will be talking about law of assumption and manifestation here on my channel now, because it is something that has impacted my life a lot, helped me a lot in life, and is also basically the reason why I don't have an anxiety disorder anymore, why I'm actually so at peace with life now, why I'm actually trusting myself, feeling confident in myself, and just being really happy. Essentially, when I talk about manifestation, it is from the law of assumption. Now, what exactly is the law of assumption? For those of you who don't know, the law of assumption is basically whatever you believe to be true is true. Or, whatever your dominant thought patterns are is what you will see in your reality. That's basically what it is. It's basically just whatever the heck you keep on thinking, you're gonna see that. Now, the reasoning behind that has to do with multiple different factors: psychological, quantum mechanics related, philosophy related, etc. Which that area is something that I am pursuing academic research into. So that's basically my lazy way of saying I do not feel like explaining the nitty-gritties right now because I don't really want to get anything wrong. Now, if you first come across this term, if you first come across this concept, you might be like, can I really? No, that seems way too good to be true. That seems so simple. All I have to do is think, and then I'm gonna see it in my reality. It's gonna happen. There's no way that's possible. This is like some magic or something. No, it is not. It is something that is very real. And I'm saying that you might have those questions because I initially had those questions. Initially, I was also like, is this a cult? What is this? No. Because you are trusting yourself. You're not following some sort of higher figure who claims to be all powerful and you have to do this, you have to do that, because, I don't know, indoctrination, stuff like that. It's not that at all. You're just having trust in yourself, basically. You're just trusting yourself and just deciding that, okay, I want this, and so therefore it's gonna happen. And back to the, that's so simple point, is this even real? Yes, it is. It really is just that simple. You do not need to be high vibrations all the time. You do not need to be oh yeah, I'm just going to ignore all my emotions. Please feel your emotions, okay? Your emotions are not the things that manifest. It's your thoughts. You can literally be crying and affirming for your desire at the same time. I have done that. And did I get it? Yes. I still got it in the end. There would be moments where I would be feeling so bad, right? About some sort of situation or something. And then, but it's I kept my thoughts in check. I kept on being oh, no. I already have this. Don't worry. There's nothing to worry about. And just keep on repeating, yeah, I already have this, etc., etc. And then it showed up. So please feel your emotions. And so basically, if you want to see something in your reality, see something in your 3D, 3D means your physical reality, by the way. 4D means our internal worlds, aka in our minds, our subconscious, etc. And so basically, if you want to see something in the 3D, you have to be in the state of already having it. You have to decide, you have to keep telling yourself that oh yeah, you already have it. Basically, as long as you don't have a lot of opposing thoughts, as long as you don't have a lot of resistance to the possibility of you can have this and that you're going to have this, this is a fully possible thing for you to have, for you to experience. If you don't have a lot of those opposing thoughts and doubts and stuff, you're going to see it. That's because the mind will believe anything if only it could. It wants to believe everything, but it can't because of the fact that there are contradictions. And so when those pop up, your mind has to, or your mind, same thing. Like you have to choose between like option A or option B. And so whatever you decide, you will see. That's just kind of how the world works. If you're still not really too convinced about it, which by the way, you do not need to have like belief in order for like your desires to manifest, in order for anything to manifest, because we've been manifesting ever since we have had the ability to think for ourselves. We're born into a world where like it's formed via everyone else's assumptions and like dominant thought patterns all put together. And so we're already born into this world, and we are kind of influenced by everyone else's like dominant thought patterns, which then kind of shapes our own thought patterns, and that kind of shapes what we see in our reality, what we experience in our reality. And so once you started to have the ability to think for yourself, then at that point, you are the one who's in control of your reality. And so it's not something that you have to believe in order for it to work, because it's always working. You're always manifesting. It's just how the world works. It's just how reality works. The specific science about it is like not extremely clear yet. Again, that's kind of what I'm researching into. But yeah, even when I first heard of this, you know, the whole thing back in grade 10, I was like, that still sounds way too good to be true. Like, right? Until I started kind of reverse engineering. I was like, and this is something that I've been doing throughout the years in order to actually like understand things more and realize that yes, everything does actually stem from me. Like everything that I personally see does stem from me and like what I'm thinking dominantly at that time. When I just thought back to past experiences that I had, specifically the negative ones, because I was like, why did these negative things happen to me, right? I was very in a victim mindset. I was like, why did these negative things happen to me? Then like, I don't want to take accountability for this, because like, this is their fault. This is their fault. Because the things that happened to me in the past were very traumatizing to me. And it, like, the other party did do me a lot of wrong. And while that is also the case, like, both things can be true at once. It's like, whatever happened in, like, any part of my past that, like, traumatized me before or just affected me severely in general, right? It's like, yes, those were those people's wrongdoings. Like, they do need to take accountability for that. And I was actually the victim to that situation. But also, I kind of created that for myself as well via what I was dominantly thinking at the time. Because before, I would constantly be in a mindset where I just never really trusted myself. I always expected, you know, the worst things to happen. I always expected, like, bad things to happen to me at that time, and that, like, I could never really keep good things, even though, like, I kept on hoping and like clinging onto the idea that like, oh, maybe this good thing will stay for me this time, maybe this will stay for me this time. But I always had the fear of like, oh no, like these things are going to leave me eventually, because I don't know, that was just the thought patterns I had, right? And so throughout the years, for like each specific scenario that I was thinking of that kind of caused me to have doubt in the law of assumption actually being a thing, over the years, I gradually realized, wait, everything really did stem from my beliefs about that situation at the time. Like, everything really did stem from the doubts that I was having, the overall mindset that I was in, and that's exactly what I experienced in my reality. For instance, regarding my ex, yes, the one that is featured in like my shorts and etc. By the way, disclaimer, very great dude. I still talk to him occasionally, like we're cool with each other. Seriously, nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. Like, so wholesome. Like, he's great, right? But yeah, regarding him, like, the external reality, my 3D, was showing me things that I wanted to see, things that was, like, really, really good for me. Things that, you know, in theory, I should have felt really, really secure in, right? Like, it was all very positive. But my mindset was like, wait, no, what if this doesn't last? Like, what if this? What if that? And I just kept on having these doubts and insecurities and such. And so that eventually did manifest And like last year, March, like we broke up. Again, disclaimer, very, very amazing dude. Seriously, no hate to him whatsoever. I literally have nothing bad to say about the guy. I only have good things to say about him. But essentially what I'm trying to say with that example is that no matter what the external reality is showing you, and I chose a negative story because that might resonate more with people who are more new to like law of assumption and manifesting and such. Like that might be something that you're more familiar with, right? Like kind of always complaining about situations or like being really doubtful of things. So no matter what the 3D reality is showing you, no matter what you're currently seeing and experiencing in your physical reality, the things that you're going to experience next, or like next in linear time, that's a whole other topic, will be based off of your dominant thought patterns, will be based off of what your mindset is at the time and like what you're thinking and how you perceive the world and view situations and just life in general. And so if manifesting what you don't want to see in your reality is so normalized and is so like commonly normal to everyone and is so like easy to everyone, then shouldn't it be the same for the other way around? Shouldn't it be the exact same for the things that we do want? And in case if you're like, wait, that sounds very manipulative, that sounds very narcissistic, like, what do you mean I have to be like, oh yeah, like I am so great and stuff, like, doesn't that sound kind of narcissistic? I'm saying these because these were like the worries that I had at the time. And so my question for you then is, if it's not considered manipulative for us to experience bad things in our reality, then why is it manipulative for us to experience good things when it's literally using the exact same process? And also, regarding the narcissism point, are you looking down on others? Are you going to have a high and mighty like attitude? Also, I will say I'm mainly going off of like narcissism stereotypes and stuff for this because that's the thing that people are more familiar with. But yeah, basically, are you going to do those things? Like, do you think you're still going to be a good person if you had confidence in yourself, if you loved yourself, if you trusted yourself? Because if you're still going to be a good person, then you have nothing to worry about. If you're still going to be kind to others, if you're still going to help out others in need, if you don't look down on others, if you don't think of yourself as like being so above everyone else, then you have nothing to worry about. And so that's a whole small little overview about the law of assumption and manifesting. And yeah, for more specific things, I will do more videos on them because I love yapping about this. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you next time.